You are not destined for an average life. If you are ready to stop being average and start being rich, this is exactly what you need to hear. This video is going to be a big wake-up call for the average real estate wholesaler out here. The average entrepreneur, if you will say. Most real estate wholesalers are okay living the regular life, making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in assignment fees, wholesaling part-time, doing okay. But I truly believe you watching this video, you don't want to be average, right? We're talking about how not to be average today. And what I'm going to do today is show you exactly how to live an unaverage life. Be what we call extraordinary, right? What is the word extraordinary? Extraordinary, right? Like you are beyond what the average person, maybe in your city, maybe with the income you've made so far, you want to exceed that, right? You want to be above where your family has ever been so you and your kids can go to new heights. In this specific video, I'm going to break down exactly, step by step, how to go above and beyond what the average wholesaler is doing. How you can actually be that wholesaler making 6, 7, get all the way to 8 figures. Who cares, right? I'm here to give you exactly what you need to hear. You are not destined for an average life. I want everybody watching this video to understand this. You are destined for way more than what's currently going on right now. Now here's the problem. A lot of you guys are not doing what you need to do to become extraordinary, to actually live the life you actually need to do. You guys are doing what the average person's doing. And unfortunately, if you do what the average person does to get rich, you're never going to get rich, okay? Like if you think working a 9-to-5 job, working for the man, the 401k, unless you're CEO of a big like publicly traded company, you ain't going to get there, right? And the same thing works in wholesaling real estate. If you do what the average wholesaler who's not making 6 figures does, you're going to end up being like that person. You want to do more. You want to do it better, and you want to do it in a way where you're working smarter. The truth I want everybody watching this is, the people that do really well in wholesaling, they're not the ones that work more than the average person, okay? Like they're not working 150 hours a week. Like they're not doing something stupid, okay? They're not doing a crazy new novation real estate strategy that's like this new thing out here on the block. Now, they're not doing any of this stuff, okay? They're actually doing something where, yeah, they're in the right boat, right? And the sales turning the right way, but they're doing it in the right order and the right way they got to do it. And for you watching this, you know you're not destined for an average life, right? You are not an average wholesaler. I want everybody watching this, if you have to understand, you are not the average wholesaler, okay? I know a lot of wholesalers. There's hundreds of thousands of wholesalers out in the country, right? Heck, we're close to millions of wholesalers out here. And you're watching this video, you are not average, okay? You're watching this because you actually want to make a change in your life, right? Like, you're ready to make that change right now by watching this video. You're actually doing this because you know I'm willing to make that change. And I'll tell you something unfortunate, right? Like as a millionaire wholesaler, like I make a ton of money in this business. I know what I'm doing. The truth here to get rich, right? The truth of how to become an extraordinary wholesaler that actually does well. There's no get rich quick gimmicks, okay? I'm not going to show that today with you, okay? This is not what it's about, right? There's no get-rich-quick gimmicks. There's no stupid new strategies to help you out, right? There's none of that stuff. It's the stuff that I see millionaire wholesalers and successful wholesalers do. Y'all are going to do the same exact thing. Now, of course, you're going to have to work hard. But I want you to understand, if you work a 9-to-5 job the rest of your life, that's hard work too. Like we're just transferring what's hard and what's easy, okay? Like, everybody knows hard work working the 9-to-5 job. It's tough. It's difficult. I get it. But I want you to understand here too that the hard work and the dedication you got to put into a regular job, if you just do the same exact hard work in wholesaling, you're going to get rewarded way better, right? And that's what we're talking about, one step at a time. So don't settle for average. You're watching this video right now, you are not an average wholesaler. You are above average right now, okay? You're doing what the crowd does not, okay? You're doing what pretty much everyone tells you not to do. Don't listen to a person that teaches you wholesaling for free. You got to pay 5, 10 grand for it, right? No. You're learning how to wholesale for free. You're learning from one of the best wholesalers in the country. And you're doing not what I've done to become successful, right? Like that's one thing, right? Oh, I teach you exactly what I do, right? Because I do. But I'm teaching you what's helped hundreds of thousands of other wholesalers. Like there's a clear blueprint of what I'm doing, right? And I truly believe this. And before we get into it, I will let everybody watching this know, like you want to get rich in wholesaling, right? I'll let everyone know, I'm probably the luckiest person on this planet when it comes to wholesaling real estate. If I look at any wholesaler, how lucky, I'm using the quote, lucky on this, right? I probably am the luckiest wholesaler in the world. Why is this, right? Most of you guys, your dad, your mom, your family was in this business, right? It's not like a generational thing. For me, it is, right? My dad, Rick, like he was making a good amount of money wholesaling, right? And basically, I was able to learn wholesaling from him for free. And that was, I will let everyone know, and I can't deny it is an unfair advantage. And clearly, I made a lot of money starting out, and it was a very unfair advantage, right? I was doing things he wasn't doing. I'm not going to discredit me or credit me for that, but I am 100% probably one of the luckiest wholesalers in the world. I had a lot of unfair advantages. And because of that, you have to understand, just hearing what I have to say, it shouldn't be 100%, oh, I gotta do this, right? And some people did, and some people don't, right? But I decided, because I had the unfair advantage of getting a free education from my dad where everyone else was charging 5 or 10 grand, what I'm gonna do in turn, and this is how I started this YouTube channel, I'm gonna teach you everything my dad taught me and everything that was working for me. I'll be your dad, quote, right? And I'll teach you what I'm doing for free, right? And in essence, this whole journey of what I'm doing, just in case no one knows who I am, the past 3-4 years in this business, I taught people how to wholesale for free. And hundreds of thousands of people in freewholesaling.com and learning wholesaling real estate, they started all doing deals. And if you go to freewholesaling.com, you see the checks, you see it everywhere. I made a great post on it today. I've taught hundreds of thousands of people to get checks. So it's not just me, my unfair advantage, and you're learning from a proven strategy that me and Rick do together on this channel to teach you how to get rich in this business. So don't learn from what I say, learn from what I've actually achieved for you guys. There's not one wholesaler in the entire country right now. You look at the proof. That has given more success to new wholesalers and wholesalers making 6 figures than me. And so that being said, I am lucky from a great situation, but because of that situation, I've grown into the only free wholesaling, when you call me a coach, right, in the country, freewholesaling.com. That being said, that's why you should listen. That's why you need to get rich. First and foremost, all right, you are not an average wholesaler. You're not doing that. So to understand how to be an unaverage wholesaler by getting rich and doing all, right, we have to understand this. What does the average wholesaler do? Right? In my personal opinion, the average wholesaler does what the crowd does. All right, I call it quote, but let's talk about it, right? The average wholesaler that, I'm not calling them broke, but they do some deals, right? They're not completely crazy crushing it, but what do? Let's look at it, right? The average wholesaler, first of all, I would go and say this, I don't know if it's blasphemy to say on my own channel, but I would say still to this day, the average wholesaler doesn't know who I am. It's not an ego thing, but it's the truth. And that's actually really good for you watching this. The average wholesaler doesn't even know who I am. That being said, that means they don't do reverse strike for dollars, they don't do probates, they don't do any of the strategies that we talk about government lists. So that being said, you watching this stuff, you're doing things that the average wholesaler isn't doing. And that's why people who watch this, they do very well. And you already know on the channel, watching the subscribers we have here. When I had 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers on this channel, I'm on Flip with Rick, when I had 2,000 subscribers, everybody that did those strategies when I first started YouTube was like, oh my gosh, right? It's crazy. It's getting bigger, but what I'll tell you is you're doing what the average wholesaler isn't doing right now. And you're actually listening to somebody who doesn't have any agenda or ulterior motive for you, right? What does the average wholesaler do, right? The average wholesaler listens, I'm not going to get into this too much today, but the average wholesaler listens to the average wholesaling guru. And I'll tell you straight up, the average wholesaling real estate guru, okay, hasn't closed a live seller in probably about 5 years, I would say. On average, the average real estate wholesaling guru that's been in the game for so long, they haven't closed a seller, I would say, in around 5 years. And I mean just a live seller, even a cold call, over the phone, in person, that they haven't done in at least 5 years. And we want to talk about the average wholesaler. If you're listening to someone that hasn't closed a seller in 5 years, wholesaling's, it's a different game, man. I tell you this, it's like doggy years, all right, the wholesaling game, right? So yeah, if you did football 5 years ago, you're good now. If you were good in real estate wholesaling 5 years ago, that's about 50 years. Okay, the whole game's changed. And so the one thing I want to tell you about the guru thing is the Bill Belichick myth. And I see gurus say this all the time. I want to kind of cut this out first and foremost. Wholesalers Bill Belichick didn't play too much football, and I don't really need to be wholesaling anymore to be a good coach, right? Bill Belichick's not playing quarterback, so I don't need to hear him. I call it the Bill Belichick myth, and I call it the Vince Lombardi truth. And what do I mean by the Vince Lombardi truth? So I'll give you a football example. Football moves in about 7-8 year cycles. That's the best way I can call it, right? Cycles work, right? So remember in 2008, they had the Wildcat formation that changed, right? And now football is more of a quarterback play. In the 90s, it was more about running backs and stuff like that. So let's use this for example, my Patriots fans. If Vince Lombardi resurrected today and was the coach of the New England Patriots, to give him a year, would he be better than Bill Belichick? Theoretically, Vince Lombardi, Bill Belichick, they're both great coaches. Vince Lombardi, considered one of the greatest coaches of all time in the 60s and 70s, he would suck today, right? He's used to running the ball. Bart Starr didn't throw more than 30 or 40 yards like that. It's a different game. Right? The strategies have changed. Now, if you give him 15 years, he could probably redo the strategies, but like he's in an era that's completely different. And unfortunately, in real estate wholesaling, 5-6 years ago is 50-60 years ago. So you're listening to a coach that like was wholesaling 8 years ago. That's like bringing an 80-year-old war general to come back in and be like Otto von Bismarck, okay? From the 1800s, right? If you brought him in right now to be a war general, it's like, he's going to think, what is off this stuff? What's a drone and all? Like, it's a different game. And wholesaling real estate, it shifts so fast. Interest rates, all these things. And so I wanted to let you know that the average wholesaling guru, they're the Vince Lombardis. They're way too old in the game right now that you have to be in the game currently to understand it. It's completely changed. That being said here, all right, the average wholesaler in the morning, they wake up in the morning, and this is a sad truth. And this is a truth I think is going to be a wake-up call for most people. But the average wholesaler, they wake up in the morning not knowing when they woke up what list they're going to do for the day, when they're calling, what they're calling, and what marketing they're doing. And this might be a kind of a wake-up call. Be like, wait, I do that, right? Bling, 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 like the boop, 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 in the air, right? Think about that for a second. If you wake up in the morning and say, okay, what list should I call today? What list? What should I cold call today? Should I SMS today? Like, what should I do today? If you're doing that, you're already off the 8 ball, okay? Like, think about like dieting. What should I eat today? If you're dieting, you don't know what you're going to eat today, more likely you're going to do the bad thing. And this is all coming from discipline. If I woke up in the morning, I have my schedule set out, I'm cold calling this list today, and you're more militant with it. I know it doesn't seem like right now that's like a big difference, but I promise you, it's a massive difference. It's a huge difference. And I don't think I've called people doing this, and I'm probably going to do a lot more in the future. If you wake up and you don't know what you're going to do, you're behind the 8 ball here. And you're going to be set up for a lot of failure. I hate to say it, but you got to wake up in the morning, and if you want to be not the average wholesaler, you got to know what list you're doing, you got to know when you're doing it, how you're doing it, and how you're going to attack. I always say this, think of the greatest men and women in history. They all had plans, and you need to be the same exact thing. I always say it, for example, MLK Jr., he got nothing accomplished sitting around all day saying, what should I do today? That man had a plan. He had a very long plan. He had a very set out plan, and he went to stinking work, okay? You think of some other great people, Gandhi, right? Gandhi didn't sit around and, he kind of sat around and did a lot of fasts, right? And it was great for what he did, but like, he had plans for what he was going to do, right? He didn't do any great change or anything great journey without making a plan, all right? That being said, if you want to be a great Alexander the Great, right? He didn't conquer pretty much the whole known world at 21 years old, by the way. So all the people, I'm too young to wholesale. Alexander the Great was like 21, 22, became the king of northern Macedonia at the time. Like, it's ridiculous, right? And Joan of Arc, 17, 16, leading the French out there. So, like, it's not about age, it's not about this. But, like, these great men and women who did great things, right? I'm not saying they're all perfect angels, but, like, they all had plans. And if you're sitting out here and you're trying to create a big change in your financial life, in my opinion, that's the biggest change you could possibly can do. Are you going to sit out here and just, like, willy-nilly and play it by ear? No. If you're going to make this big charge to change your life, you better have a stinking plan. You better write it down, set it out, what you're going to do. All right? Like, this isn't game, right? This is real life right now. This isn't a pretend game. This ain't no like video game. Like, we're actually trying to change our life. And I know it's not sexy to go out here and say a schedule and nice routine is going to make you rich, but it is. Because it's not because it's going to like instantly get you deals, but it's going to lead you to do more marketing, and the more marketing you do means the more leads you get, the more leads, the more offers, more contracts, the more contracts you sell, the more stinking money you make. That's the point, okay? I'm trying to get you more deals, and that's the point of this video. The average wholesaler, they make excuses. You probably do make excuses. I sometimes make excuses, right? You just got to get better at those excuses. Oh, I'm tired today. I don't want to cold call. Oh, I don't care. You got to go out here and do what you probably don't want to do. And I think that's the big one sentence I give to you today is like, do what you don't want to do. And if you eventually do that enough times, it's just second nature, okay? I wake up in the morning, so I do not want to get up out of bed sometimes, okay? Like, I want to sleep in. I know I got to get the work done for the day, right? There's too many gurus I got to flex on. It always gets me up, right? Think about this too. The average wholesaler, they will compare themselves to other wholesalers, and comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare yourself to me, I can compare myself to Jeff Bezos. I'm like, oh, I'm not a billionaire. I'm not even I'm not worth $150 billion. Oh, I'm such a terrible person, I'm a loser. Like, you can play the comparison game all day, every day, okay? Even Elon Musk, right? He compares himself to I don't know, some handsome 18-year-old, right? Oh, how am I not looking like this person, right? I got all this money, right? You can always compare yourself to other things. And the truth is, the only person you should ever compare yourself to is the man or woman you were behind the mirror the day before. And if you're constantly becoming a better man or woman when it comes to wholesaling, yourself, your personality, things in general, you'll do well. This is another thing that an average wholesaler does. A rich wholesaler will not compare themselves to others. The rich wholesaler will not make excuses. Another thing the rich wholesaler does, they make sacrifices. And so you think of the average wholesaler will not make the sacrifice. And a lot of the broke wholesalers out here, they are never willing to compromise what they truly put in their time frame, their schedule for the day. They will never compromise anything to get to those goals. And I hate to say it, I know it's controversial to say, but the average wholesaler will not make the sacrifice. And I would probably say you do need to make some sort of sacrifice if you want to get rich in wholesaling. And I know it's controversial. I know it's like, oh, be a crazy great guy, go after it. But like, you're going to sacrifice something. It might be sleep. It might be some time with the homies, right? It might be one less date night, a week. I'm not saying go, be a terrible spouse or something, but like, I'm just saying, like, there's some things you gotta sacrifice. And I'm not saying go be a terrible dad or terrible mom. I'm not saying to go do those things, but like, figure out what you're doing during the day. And a lot of these sacrifices aren't going to be as drastic as it seems. Sacrificing Netflix, sacrificing extra YouTube time, sacrificing all these things. And as a guy that wants you to go on YouTube, watch my videos, trust me, okay? It brings me no pleasure to say that. But I got to tell you from my heart what's truly going to get you rich. The average wholesaler will not make the sacrifice. And every single rich wholesaler I know, every single wholesaler I know that I've taught to make $100,000 or plus a year, they made some sort of sacrifice, some sort of one, okay? Even if it was little, they did something that they usually did not want to do. That's my definition of sacrifice in real estate wholesaling is doing something you don't want to do. You're sacrificing, because you could have not do that, but you're sacrificing something bad, not bad, but like to go do that thing, right? That being said, if you think about this, you got to make some sort of sacrifice. I'm not saying this drastic thing, go cut your mom out of your life. Like, don't do something stupid, okay? I'm not saying to do that, right? Sacrifice something little that is just getting in front of that goal of doing what you need to do. And I'm making it general on purpose because everyone's got a different situation, right? Maybe you're a single mom, right? Okay. Like, some people got it way worse, and some people have way tougher situations. Some people have way easier situations. I get it, okay? But the average wholesaler will not make the average wholesaler will not make sacrifices, okay? You got to be willing to do it, right? The rich wholesalers do the opposite of all those things, and I want you to think about that for a second in your head. The rich wholesaler will do the opposite of all those things. And so I'm not going to go whole presentation, like we're just rehashing this, but like, think about it. The average wholesaler, the rich wholesaler, they listen to somebody that actually is currently successful, right? There's some real estate gurus that are, I get it, right? But they wake up in the morning, they know what they're doing, they have a schedule, right? They don't make excuses, they roger that, something bad happens, water off a duck's back, they go after it. The average rich wholesaler, they won't compare themselves to others. They compare themselves to the man or woman they were yesterday. They make the sacrifice, and they go after it, right? The average wholesaler, I'll let you know this. Now, this is when I get into, I might trigger a couple of people saying this, but it's true. The average wholesaler, they gain skills, cold calling skills, marketing skills, analysis skills, all these type of skills you can have in wholesaling real estate, talking to sellers, rapport, scripts, they gain skills by watching videos. I'll say the average wholesaler trying to make it, they only gain skills by really watching videos. And I'll tell you straight up, yes, content, videos, they're very important, okay? But in your equation of getting rich, it should be a 10-15% thing at most, okay? Like, that 10 to 15% is going to where you gain the skills, right? And the way I like to do it is you're in your own car. And so I want you to, like, you're in a car, okay? You're driving pretty much from New York to LA. That's a tough drive, okay? Now, if I gave you, let's say it's in a language you don't know. All right, let's do this. Let's do France. Okay, you're going from the north of France to the south of France. Now you can't read French, so you don't know where you're going. Now, if I told you had to go all the way south and I gave you a compass and I gave you directions, you still got to drive. You still got to put the gas in, you still got to do the work, but at least I gave you some sort of direction to do it, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people, if you got to do the whole drive in, let's say, for example, 10 hours. Most of y'all will spend 6-7 hours studying directions and not just generally going out there at the way, right? And if you just spent 30 minutes looking at the directions, you got to grab the compass, you just go after it. Those extra hours, there's a diminishing returns. And what I mean by that is taking action is going to gain you more skills. And I know I'm the analogy king today, but like the rich wholesaler, okay? The rich wholesaler, okay? They get rich and they gain skills by talking to sellers. They gain their skills by doing the action. They gain their skills by actually practicing what they preach. So how do you get good at marketing? You start marketing. How do you get good at cold calling? You get cold call. How do you get good at texting? You text. How do you get good at pulling government lists? You pull government lists. How do you get good at reverse trying? You reverse try. How do you get good at cold calling? Cold call. Why I say cold calling twice? How do you get really good at cold calling? I can give you the script. They don't make you a good cold caller. Everyone got the script. Oh, you watch all of Zach's videos. That's great. You know what the objections are. You know what to answer it. You know how Zach does it right. But practicing is going to make it way better. And the last part about this is like, how do you gain the skills? We're going to do a football analogy. I love football. There's a reason why there's elite quarterbacks and okay quarterbacks, right? Well, what separates Patrick Mahomes from, I hate to say it, I'm going to say it, from Mac Jones? What's the difference between Mac Jones and Patrick Mahomes? I think they're both good quarterbacks. One's a lot better than the other. They both can study the playbook all day. They're both probably, Patrick Mahomes is way smart, like he's football intelligence, but like, they probably have an understanding of the game the same way, but one person has a lot more skills than the other. So studying is not going to be the thing that's going to be the big difference. It's actually participating, practicing, being in the situation. That's going to make you the better quarterback. Same exact thing in football. Football with it is in wholesaling real estate, okay? Yeah, y'all can study the cold calling scripts all day. Y'all can go watch all the games and analysis and okay. But go out here and actually do it. Throw the dang ball. Play a couple games. That's going to be the thing. Get the actual game film, quote, for it, all right? I can tell you, if you ain't doing it, you're already off the bat, right? Like, you ain't doing well. The average wholesale on top of this, too. The average wholesale, I'll tell you, hasn't made 5 offers this month. 1 offer a week. And that's a very staggering statistic. I would go out here on a limb and say the average wholesaler has not made 5 offers this month. They haven't made 5 offers. Someone that said, I want to sell my house, they did not give 5 offers. The rich wholesaler has made 5 offers this week. And you can take that statement and be sad by it. You can take that statement, get motivated by it. You can take that statement and get inspired by that. And you want to tell yourself, hey, I want to get a rich wholesaler. If I can do one sentence to make you consistent deals, I just got to tell you, make 5 offers this week. Now, there's two camps on this. You got camp number 1 that says, okay, I'm just going to FSBOs, where it's the least likely I get a deal and make 5 stupid blind offers. Okay, I mean, you made your 5 offers, but then you got the other guy that will cold call till he finds someone that's actually motivated and it's actually a good deal, and they'll go out here and they'll make the offer with them. Right? And I would say the FSBOs are great, but you're going to run out of FSBOs after a month. So yeah, you'll make the 5 or 6 offers, but after, a month, you're done with the FSBOs and you got no other offers to do. So the real question that comes here is, what should you do? I would say make 5 offers a week. And I know it's a lot, but like, make 5 offers this week, right? If you make 5 offers, I promise you, you'll be a lot better success and a better chance of success. 5 offers a week, I don't think is too crazy. But if you don't make 5 offers, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm telling you, the average wholesaler hasn't made 5 this month. The rich wholesaler is making 5 this week. And I know it's going to be an eye-opener for you, but I think that's what you should do. And so think about what I said here. And what I mean by this is create a day. Like, if you're like, okay, what's this guy trying to say? What's Zach trying to say to motivate me? What is he saying for all these things? Let me give you my truth, okay? From my heart, what I want you to do, and anyone watching this, and they want to become successful, create a schedule and stick to it, all right? Like, if I'm sitting down from you right now, and you tell me, Zach, how do I actually become successful? Give me the keys. Like, tell me, and I sit you in a room. It's private. No one's watching, and I'm going to tell you exactly everything. I'm looking you dead in the eye right now. I'm going to tell you the same exact things as people actually go to me sometimes, and that's what I say. Create a schedule and stick to it. I'm speaking to you. I'm not speaking to the people in the stream. I'm speaking dead in your eyes right now. Create a schedule and stick to it. I promise you. You want to get successful, create a dang schedule and stick to it. How many wholesalers that come up to me, or they go in the live streams, or they go in the one-on-ones, and they're like, oh, Zach, I'm not successful. I'm not rich. I can't get consistent deals. And no. I'm like, okay, are you consistently marketing? Oh, no, it's hard for, okay. What's the conversation we're going to have? Oh, Zach, if I mix this up with anything else, people get such crybabies with it. Zach, I can't grow 5 bushels of corn. Well, did you plant enough seeds for the corn? Like, it's crazy. People think I'm nuts, but like, if you don't do the work, you're never going to get the action. Zach, I want to get ripped, but I don't want to work out. It's like, duh, like, come on. Second thing, stop compromising your future. I will tell everyone, even me, to this day, about 5 or 6 things I could say you can cut out of your life. And these are stupid things, all right? I would say for most people, and this is for my Gen Z people, okay, my age, all right, I'm 23 years old as of this video. If you just cut down your social media time in half. The average Gen Z person, I would say, studies shown 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours a day. So I would say if the average Gen Z person cut out half of their social media time, Instagram, TikTok, they're not on Facebook, right? But like whatever social media time you have, cut that in half. Let's add Netflix in that, make it 4 hours. Netflix, whatever entertainment you do, whatever, right? Scrolling on, I don't know, whatever the new thing is. You cut that in half, you get an extra 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day times 7 is 14 hours a week. If you spent that 14 hours a week cold calling, reverse drawing for dollars, talking to sellers, I promise that 14 hours compounded over time will get you rich in wholesaling. It doesn't seem like crazy right now, but it'll give you some side income. Quick, 15, 20K this summer, maybe 50K first year. You start, okay, well, this is making more than my job, and I can I can consistently get the deals. 100K, okay, how do I get this more? 150, 250, a million, and just shoots up from there. And this all starts from one little domino, and that's not compromising your future, just making a little sacrifice, okay? Not, oh, I'm gonna cut my kids off. Like, I'm not saying this, okay? I'm just like, a little bit of Netflix, a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of TikTok, a little bit of that fun stuff. I'll tell you, stuff's addicting. It's crazy. Stop compromising your future, all right? And you want my step-by-step guide, all right? And then I get the, Zach, just tell me what to do. I can't think. It's so much. I'm so analysis paralysis. Right? I get that. What to do? First and foremost, breathe and relax. All right? Breathe and relax. Think about it. Once you think about it, you got to do this. 3 steps. All right? Number 1, pick your market. Pick your market. All right? Number 1, pick your market. What market are you going to be? For my virtual wholesalers, they struggle with this sometimes. But like, pick your dang market. All right? Like, where you're going to be. Pick what area, what zip codes in your market to do, right? Like, pick that. Number 1. Number 2, once you pick your market, go find the cash buyers. Go find where the title companies are. Where do your cash buyers want to buy? All right? This is for my analysis paralysis squad. This is for the people that just cannot figure out what to do. Now, I still think finding deals first, but like because you're struggling so much with this, find the buyers, find the title companies, find the market. Okay, that's number 1 and 2. If you go to 30 Wholesaling Challenge and wholesaling.com, shouldn't be an issue. And then number 3, the most important part, pick 2 to 3. 2 to 3. All right, 2 to 3. Did I say 5, 6? Did I say 7, 8? Did I say 12, 14? Did I say only do 1? No. I said pick 2 to 3 lists and start calling and driving for dollars those lists. Zach, I'm virtual. Then just call. Zach, I don't like calling. Then drive for dollars. Then reverse drive for dollars. It's like what I'm a miracle worker here, right? Like, I'm giving you exactly what to do. Well, and if you're saying to yourself, if y'all sighed or rolled your eyes when I said that, you're not willing to make the dang sacrifice. Like, why did you just roll your eyes when I told you to cold call? Think about that for a second. Are you where you want to be financially right now? Are you at that spot? Give me a yes or no. No? Start calling. That's going to be the pathway to it. Or hey, if you were to drop $2,000 or $3,000 a month in marketing, if you're making that money, go do it. You want to do the guru thing, 5, 6 grand, go do it. One thing I can tell you, wholesaler test, all right? And this is the test you have to have, all right? Think about this. Once you go out here in real estate, right? Once you show up and you do the work on the days you don't want to do them, then you know you're on the right path. And the big difference, I can always tell you this, about the wholesalers that actually do well in real estate, the ones that actually become successful, the ones that actually get rich, the ones that actually do this or that, right? If you actually show up on the days you actually don't want to do the work, you're on the right path. The thing is, a lot of people, they'll go out here, they'll cold call 7 days, they'll cold call 8 days, they'll cold call 9 days, right? And day 10, they're like, you know what? I haven't gotten a deal. I haven't made 100K in this week. I just want to stop. Legit, that's what they'll do. They're like, I'm just going to stop. Like, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, guess what they do? They don't want to do it, then they quit. Case closed. But the successful ones, the days that they don't want to do it, they always show up like, I don't want to do it. But guess what? It has to be done. And then they actually go out here and do it. And so if you want to see if you're on the right path or not, on the days you don't want to do it, you'll do well. And I think that's the last, this is a big secret. Everyone thinks when I cold called 5 hours a day, 5 days a week for a year straight to gain all the skills I need possible for cold calling, right? It's my rite of passage, I would say. There was... I would probably tell you 30% of the time, 25, 30% of the time, I did not want to cold call that day. The entire time, 25%, I did not. I'd say a quarter. Like another 75, I was motivated like crazy. But like 25%, I did not want to do it. Okay, I'll be completely honest with you. Same thing with the gym. I'd say about a quarter of the time I do not be in the gym. I'd rather be chilling out in a jacuzzi, I think everyone, right? But you got to get motivated. And this is, you're working 9 to 5 job. This is the same exact thing. You're going to do the things you don't want to do. And once you start doing that, you know you're in the right path for wholesaling success. So if you're excited, you're ready to go for wholesaling real estate and become successful, do me a favor. Go out here and do the things you don't want to do. And I promise you, that'll lead you to wholesaling success.